Think about the gadgets you couldn't wait to buy a few years ago. Give it enough time, and every single one of them ends up gathering dust in a drawer or slowly rusting away in a landfill. Why do the exact products we line up around the block for today inevitably disappear from the shelves tomorrow? Take the original Apple iPod. At its peak, it was the ultimate consumer device. Everyone had one. But eventually, production shut down completely, and the standalone music player vanished. A product's disappearance isn't bad luck or an accident. It follows a predictable pattern of growth and decline known as the product life cycle. Every physical item on the market follows this cycle. We track the entire lifespan of a product by measuring just two metrics against each other. This chart maps those metrics. We measure the total number of sales on the vertical axis against the passage of time on the horizontal axis. For those sitting the higher business management exam, drawing and labeling this exact graph is a direct requirement for earning marks. Out in the real world, tracking where a company's product sits on this chart helps determine if a business is positioned to thrive or at risk of failing. Stage 1 is research and development. Sitting perfectly flat at zero sales, the financial risk is massive. Ford spent 6 years and $6 billion here. Next is Stage 2, introduction, where the product finally launches. Sales are slow because consumer awareness is low. To get people's attention, the business has to spend heavily on advertising, meaning the company is usually still operating at a financial loss. These early stages are focused on investing capital and managing losses, in the hope that those costs can be recouped once the product gains traction. If the launch works, we hit Stage 3, growth. Consumers know the product exists, and sales begin to climb rapidly. This is the phase where the sheer volumeless sales finally allows the business to turn a profit and start paying off those initial R&D debts. The climb eventually peaks at Stage 4, maturity. This marks the highest level of sales the product will reach without the company taking specific action to extend its life. The strategic advantage here is that the product is now a household name. Because the market is well aware of the offering, advertising budgets can be drastically reduced. While reaching maturity maximizes total profit, defending that peak position from rivals entering the market to take market share is a significant challenge. At the higher level, we introduce Stage 5, saturation. The market is full. Everyone who wants the product already owns it, and sales growth levels out. To survive saturation, companies have to adopt defensive tactics. They may lower prices to fight off fierce competition, or reintroduce reminder advertising to keep the brand at the top of the consumer's mind. Eventually, consumer tastes shift, pushing the product into Stage 6, decline. Sales and profits begin to fall. Often, this is forced by new technology. Sales of the standalone iPod fell as its music functions were integrated directly into the first smartphones. When a product enters this phase, businesses must decide when to withdraw it from the market altogether to prevent it from draining the company's remaining profits. Why do corporate executives spend so much time plotting this curve instead of just counting their current revenue? Because lifespans vary. Products like the Pocket Calculator went from exclusive technology to an inexpensive mass-market item in just a few years. Compare that to Cadbury's Dairy Milk. Launched in 1905, it has remained in the maturity stage for over a century through clever branding. Analyzing these distinct curves helps a business identify the points where they should prepare a replacement, allowing them to have a new product ready before the current one disappears. Successful organizations rarely rely on just one item. They survive by managing a portfolio of products, each sitting at a different life cycle stage. Every product makes a similar journey, moving from an expensive idea in a lab to an eventually obsolete memory. The complete life cycle follows these 6 stages: research and development, introduction, growth, maturity, saturation, and decline. For students, recalling these 6 sequential stages is a direct requirement for scoring well on the higher business management exam. Consumer demand is always shifting. Understanding this life cycle provides a vital framework for adapting products before they, and the companies that make them, become obsolete.